Welcome, everybody. My name is Paul Smyers. I'm a licensed real estate agent in Virginia in the beautiful Shenandoah Valley. I live near Waynesboro, Virginia. Now, I want to talk a little bit about buyer agency today because there's a lot of confusion by many buyers about who represents whom in a business transaction in real estate. And by default, for the longest time in most states, the seller agent represents the seller of the home, and they have to represent the seller's interests, including a price and disclosure and so on. A buyer agent is simply someone that you hire with a simple document called a buyer agency agreement, and that means that the buyer agent is working on your behalf for your interest, for your disclosure, and for your negotiation on price. And that allows me to disclose a little bit more of things and do a little more in your behalf. Now, many people don't actually hire a buyer agent and they don't really understand how the process works. So I asked you, if you are looking for a property and you're talking to a realtor, ask them, who do you represent? Do you represent the seller or the buyer? Because if they're only representing the seller, then you need to get someone on your side who's the buyer agent. Okay, so that makes a little difference in the contractual obligations. Now, a buyer agent, I get called lots of times and I get emails about, could you help me find a property? And I love doing that. What I do is I start looking, I do searches, I take a little interview on the phone and I write down what someone might like, what they're looking for, the time frame they're in, the budget, and so on. And then I start looking. And it's actually quite a bit of work. It's kind of fun work because I go around and I drive around and look at properties and I look online, and sometimes I call other agents and say, can I go look at the property and so on. And it's a fun process, but it can take quite a bit of time, especially in a rural area, because you got to drive around and sometimes you got to look at 3 or 4 properties in one day. But that's what I do, and that's my job, and I'm happy to do it. I just want to let people know that when you go look for a property, if you're a prospect to buy something, then make sure you have a good agent on your side that's actually going to help you look. I do help people look because I can't do everything, but in my daily process of working online, I look at different listings and new listings and so on, and I'm looking for other people, and I look online and I see, okay, there's a property that might fit my buyer's interest. Okay, so I do that, and sometimes I'll actually go and drive around and look at the property myself. Now, if you're a buyer who wants an agent on your side, call me or call your agent in the particular state that you're in or whatever, and ask them, what are you going to do for me if you're going to help me look for a property? Now, I can't do everything. I don't know exactly what property that you want, and I ask the buyers, go look on your own. If you find something that you really like, and show it to me, send me the link, and I'll go take a look at it and give you my opinion. You see, I do a lot of scouting, and I love it. It's a fun thing to do, but it can be tedious and drive a lot of miles. So what I ask people to do when they contact me is like, okay, have some clear idea about what you want and the time frame that you're in, and give me that information so I have something to work with. I take notes. I sit down and I take notes when I interview people on the phone. And I've had buyers that come from out of state, and that's a common thing now. People are moving out of the cities, they're moving out of state, they come down to Virginia, and maybe they're retiring or they got transferred in a job and they're starting a new job down here and so on. So contact me and find out who I am as a person. I love to go out and look at property. I do that all the time. I had a license in New York State for a while as well. My primary job for many years, I was a photographer. I did work on my own, and I also got into aerial photography. I also have a drone license. I can photograph a property from the air by drone and so on, and show you examples of what the property may look like in the different seasons. Sometimes you see pictures on the line, and I'm surprised sometimes you see a listing of 50 acres, but they got 3 pictures. It's hard to tell really what the land is all about. And on the other hand, there are some agents who hire a drone photographer and they go up and they take a lot of good pictures. So the bottom line is that you need an agent on your side who thinks on your behalf and negotiates on your behalf and will give you some quality information about the property you're looking for. I go on the internet, I look at satellite photos, I look at the past history of the property, I look at the previous sales, how many square feet it is, or how many acres it is, and whether it's got access or easements and so on. And if we get into further, if you find a specific property, then I get even more detailed information that I can help you with regarding the taxes and zoning and everything. So what I encourage people to do is, if you're not in this state here in Virginia, then find a buyer agent on your side somewhere else. If you're in Virginia, especially central Virginia, from say Smith Mountain Lake up toward Winchester and that area, the beautiful Shenandoah Valley, that's where I work. And there's a lot of opportunity here for buying and selling property. And there's beautiful, beautiful terrain and nice people and gentle winters and so on. So contact me. My name is Paul Smyers. I work for Lions Team Realty in Moneta, Virginia. I live here in Stewart's Draft, and moving to Virginia was one of the best decisions I ever made. It's lovely here. I've been here 9 years, and I plan to do real estate as long as I am able. I'm age 72, and I got children who are into homesteading and home buying and so on. So contact me. I hope you listen to other of my videos on here and get some information. And if you have any need or questions, just leave them in the comments. And please like and share if you like the content, and maybe subscribe, and you'll get some notifications when I update my videos. So thanks again for listening, and I hope to see you in some of my other videos.